This is Mr. Ng, your new math teacher. How do you pronounce Ng? It's like pronounced like jump Ng or ride Ng. There's my Chinese last name. Let me tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm involved in 3 clubs on campus. Rebels for Christ, with co-advisors. I'm a co-advisor with Mr. Slagle and Mrs. Ochoa. We meet in room 21 every Tuesday. There's the president, VP, and secretary. You might know them. School club number 2, chess club. We meet Mondays and Thursdays in my room during lunch. Come on by, bring a friend. And then I became a teacher because we had a club very similar to this in my high school. It's called Future Rebel Educator. So if you're interested in becoming like a counselor, a school teacher, principal, or an administrator, this is a good place to come. Tell you guys a little bit about my family. There's me. There's my beautiful wife, Jen. We've been married 9 years and we have 5 kids. Brooklyn is 8. Hezekiah or Kaya, he's 6 years old. Then Hallie, she's 4. Elo is 2.5, and Autumn, she's 17 months old. There I am. I went to Pacific Drive in Fullerton. There's my pictures. And then I went to Nicholas Junior High. And then for high school, there I am right there. I went to Fullerton High School. And there was one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Rupp. Mr. Rupp just really pushed us, and that's really the drive of me as a teacher as well. I want to push you guys to reach unprecedented boundaries. I want you guys to grow as a human being. What did I do after high school? I went to Cal State Fullerton, and then I got my master's degree from Concordia. And now I've been at Savannah since 2015, and this is my 16th year of teaching math. You know, when you guys walk into my classroom, I'm often going to forget what grade you got, but I'm going to remember you as a person. So person first, business second. This is my business mantra. I'm going to treat you like a human being, not a robot, and vice versa. You're going to do the same to me. And, you know, business is kind of like me teaching math. That's second in some ways. So you're going to have some hard days. I'm going to have some hard days, and we'll be human beings and let each other know about it, whether we're sick, we have some tragic losses. Maybe you have some commonalities with me. I love boba. I like drinking Coke, and I like basketball and Michael Jordan. I also like plumerias. That's the plant. There's Caesar giving me a plumeria plant, so if you have one, appreciate it. And you might be asking, what's my favorite? Why do I teach? What's my favorite part? Well, I have 2 things. Number 1, I kind of want you to see the lens of the world through math. Math is everywhere. And number 2, just like how diamonds are created from charcoal, just a black piece of carbon, but under high amounts of stress and pressure, you shine like a diamond. And I really want you to shine like a diamond in my class, and I want to polish you. And some of you guys are great, exceptional diamonds. I hope you can flourish in my class. What's another reason why I teach? One of my favorite parts is just seeing students just blossom from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And I actually grow these in my backyard, but that's not my picture. And I kind of showed you before, this is one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Rupp. He didn't really smile much. So if I don't smile as much, don't be offended. But I love teaching, and he was a great model to me, just pushing our students to work hard, having fun at that time. And every weekend, and just like I end this video, you'll hear the same thing. Have a fun, safe, legal weekend or time. So see you guys later. All right, right now we're currently in distance learning, and there's 2 things called synchronized learning and asynchronous learning. Synchronized, think of like a watch is like real time, and it is required. These are the live classes, and asynchronous is independent learning. They do the work on their own, and that's when I have the office hours. Let me show you the schedule. I know, super crazy. So Monday, students will go to their classes. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those are the asynchronous days. And the asynchronous days, all the students have to do is, for my period 2 students, they need to check in. And I have office hours through that Google Meets. But every teacher has some kind of attendance check-in, and students all have to do that. So if you think about it, there's some kind of attendance check-in every day, but they see their live classes Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You might be asking, what do I teach? I teach now, this year, they call it Integrated Math 3. So that's the new class, new label, Integrated Math 3. Last year it was called Math 5. And really for those who, if as we went through high school, that was called Algebra 2. And we're using a book called Carnegie Learning. Then my other class I'm teaching is statistics. What are my top 4 resources to help your child learn math? Number 1, my YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and type in Mr. Math Eng, you can watch math videos 24/7. Last school year, I had 21,000 views. And just this past year alone, I've had 6,000 views in the first month. Number 2 resource is office hours. Through the Google Meets, students know that they can actually pop on every Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9:30 and 10:30. Today I had a student just come on for like 30 seconds saying, can I do this and this and that for my notes? I said, sure, that's great. And they went on their way. Or I can even go over math with them, whatever they need, check their grades. Third resource is my own website, mrmathing.net. On there, you'll have last year's quizzes and tests and current quizzes and tests. And what I do is I use last year's tests as study guides. So there's blanks and video solutions for those. And one parent even made a comment this year already saying, Mr. Eng, my son does not need a private tutor this year based on all of the resources that you have. And the last resource, number 4, is Khan Academy. Khan Academy is just another way for students to hear another voice for the math and get extra practice. You might ask, why do videos? Why record? Well, number 1, it is consistent technology. So far, since March, the dangers of distance learning that I've seen is that there is an exact time that students have to show up. But what happens if there's internet issues or sound they can't hear or they can't see or it lags behind? What happens if Schoology or the Google Drive is not working? Well, with my videos, it's more consistent because then they can replay, rewind, and review the math anytime they want, 24/7. Just yesterday, instructional aid was letting me know that English language learners, they're learning English by doing the math. They love it that there's a math video to work alongside every single problem. That way, they at least can follow along, and they're learning actually English in that same way. Why videos and record? Well, number 2, it's individualized. In the physical classroom, in my room 902, I would normally teach, and then I'd go over a lesson, and I'd say, move your chairs next to your partner, or do some group work. Well, I was already moving towards the direction of something called the flipped classroom, where the students would receive whole instruction at home, and then the practice with me and with others at school to work on the collaboration and communication aspect. And I know that Cal State Fullerton is already moving towards that direction before COVID-19 at Cal State Fullerton. What's the advantage of this flipped classroom? Well, if most students are watching that whole instruction at home, and in class they're actually working on the homework or practice, and I'm walking around helping them, I can also help individuals faster. Instead of just waiting, normally I would say, you take questions after class or come at lunch or after school. Well, now I can actually help them during class. How else does videos individualize the learning experience for them? Well, in the digital classroom, they can watch it anytime, anywhere. Can you imagine, just like in my home, where during the school hours or during working hours, everybody is using the internet, and it might slow down. Well, then the student can actually watch the announcements, my week at a glance later that night. Or maybe you went to the dentist. Or maybe one of my students has to babysit their little sister. Well, once the little sister goes down, then they can actually watch the math there. Well, I hope this helps you feel confident that your son or daughter is in good hands. And I love teaching math, and I love teaching your children. Have a good day.